Alrighty, the next quest in the Endwalker series of Manderville quests is the Imperfect Gentleman, given to us by Hildebrand on the moon, the southeast, or a southeast part of Mare Lamentorum, to be exact. Here we go, level 90, if it still matters. Cutscene. So begins the case of the silent correspondent. Not to rain on your parade, but my friend who was somewhere on your star stopped sending me messages. It's not a lot to go on. I've spent years investigating the existence of aliens, and recent experiences notwithstanding, they are not that easy to find. Then you don't know Inspector Hildebrand. He'll solve this case as he's solved countless others, with unerring perception and panache. Well said, Nashu. I need but relinquish conscious thought to investigative instinct, and the clues will flow to me forthwith. He does the pose where he points with two fingers, one on each hand at his head for a while, and we wait. And we wait. Lose yourself in the deductive current, Inspector. Delian gasps. You're channeling, aren't you? Contacting a higher power to breach the veil of mystery? Another fascinating development. Still waiting. One of the bunnykin, the Loporits, comes up. The laconic one who we talked to at the very beginning. Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over. Thought you'd like to know that I spotted that chap you were asking about. You know, the well-muscled gentleman with tattered clothing and dazzling teeth. You mean this gentleman? We found him too. She looks to Hildy. Well, that can't be right. I just saw him in the north of Mare Lamentorum, and he ran the other way when I called out. I don't understand how he could have arrived before me. I have a feeling, Mr. Bunny, sir, that what you saw was an imposter. Mercy, would you mind asking Mr. PuPu if he was growing any more inspectors on the moon? On the moon, not mooned. Why do I keep adding these sometimes? We ask Mr. PuPu. PuPu, I only created a single batch, but one did manage to escape the vaporization beam. That individual's behavior was unpredictable. A flaw in the cloning process, I'm afraid. I know I did a different voice for him, but I can't remember what it was. It's been that long already, so sorry. Well, this won't do at all. We cannot have a flawed inspector running around besmirching the Manderville name. Master PuPu, I must ask that we hunt down and liquidate my other self as soon as possible. Might we delay the search for your comrade until the deed is done? PuPu, the imperfect clone was of my making. It is only right that I redress my mistake first. He's about the size, he's a tiny bit smaller than the Loporits. So begins the case of the imposter inspector. Oh, that does sound exciting. If you don't mind me coming along, I can show you the place where I saw the imposter inspector. This is a Loporit. The alien PuPu does a very vigorous double head nod and goes walking with the rest of us with his two short arms kind of spread wide and up in a V, like victory, but it's as if he doesn't really control the arms a whole lot, and just the sheer force of the body moving and the arms kind of, I don't know how to describe it better, or at all, really. 83 is not a level I care about when it comes to these. I mean, I could do it on my summoner, but I'm not currently desperately in need of bicolor gemstones. I am also not sure if I'm about to hit 100 with most of my crafts. Most of them pretty soon. And I'm not sure if bicolor gemstones are going to be needed at all to make any of the, to get the materials to make any of the level 100 stuff. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We flew north on the moon, and we have Hildebrand to talk to continue. I espy with my little eye no dashingly defective gentleman. He can't have made it that far on foot. Why don't we try searching the immediate area? Scan the horizon, that kind of thing. Then I suggest we split up so we can cover more ground. Nashu, Mercy, and I will investigate to the west. Right, I'll take these other two and head east. Splitting the party again, and you're leaving me with the aliens? Says Adelian. All relax, Bright Eyes. We'll have a nice chat and I can disabuse you of all those strange conspiratorial notions. Oh, and we can get to know our new friend here. PuPu gives a little dance as he turns around. The two of them leave. Delian leaves after them. Let us be on our way as well, with Mercy in the van, if you please. Does that mean in the rear? Oh, but they're following now. Oh, we have an optional little chat bubble down here, which we'll go play with first. Probably it's down here to overlook this beam. And I don't remember all the storyline enough to, like, I don't remember what this beam did exactly. But, nice red beam. Or orangish red. Discuss the Cradle of Darkness with Hildy. Behold this sublime vista. 'Tis as if the moon herself breathes beneath our feet. Oh, look down there. They have their very own hot spring. My dear Nashu, what you are observing is no hot spring, but a natural reservoir of ceruleum. With such a rich resource to hand, it is no wonder they can afford these palatial residences. I'm glad you're here to educate me, Inspector. I was about to take a quick soak. And we'll do the same thing with Nashu. Oh, look down there. They have their very own hot spring. My dear Nashu, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Hildy, just regular talk. Being on the moon reminds me of that time I was blasted all the way to Dalamud. I do believe that was a personal best in terms of distance flung. And Nashu. When you're up in the sky, our world's a pizza pie. Oh, so pretty. When you're up in the sky, our world's a pizza pie. Oh, so pretty. When you're up in the sky, our world's pizza pie. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. She doesn't use the exact words from the actual song. I'm trying to figure out the rhythm. I think I failed. Didn't really figure it out, in my own personal opinion. We have these thinkers. Looks like there's a broken down, a hammer-struck thinker over here, which we will investigate, interact with. Stop it, chair. A goldsmithing hammer is lodged in the thinker's carcass. It appears to have been dealt a single swift killing blow. Uh-oh. Core, the bugs grow big up here, don't they? This hammer, surely it cannot be. Nay, it does not bear thinking about. Come along, nothing to see here. The hint is that it's probably Godbert's. But he wouldn't leave his hammer in the thing. You can kind of see the hilt sticking out there. When you're up this high in the sky, our world's like a big pizza pie. Nah, I still can't do it. Yeah. We have another optional chat bubble. Discuss the starry sky with Hildy. What a dazzling display of stars. Not a single cloud in sight. In fact, I've never seen the night sky so clearly. Now that you mention it, it's been nighttime the entire time I've been here. How much longer until dawn breaks, do you think? And then same thing with Nashu. Yeah. And then the other talk that they have is they're just going to say the same thing they said previously, so I ain't worth it. A hammer-struck moose, kind of a white flawn kind of creature. And there's also a hilt sticking out of this one. Another goldsmithing hammer, another killing blow that bespeaks unparalleled strength. Ah, it looks like he's yawning. The hammer stuck in his head spoils the effect, though. He cannot be here. Why would he be here? That's a goldsmithing tool, isn't it? It does look awfully familiar. And yet completely unrelated to our case. Moving on, people. Moving on. I thought I clicked. It didn't click. Alright, we have no more optional chat bubbles. We will just continue the quest over to the west. Or one of the best. Trail of fancy footprints. We know they're fancy somehow. Just the pattern of the print. A set of gentlemanly tracks leads to the northwest. Aha! In the sand, in the snow, or in a half-ilm of moon dust, I'd recognize those fancy footprints anywhere. They're a perfect copy of mine. Our fugitive imposter must be just up ahead. Cutscene. Nashu, Hildy, and myself are running along the moon surface. I sense a gentlemanly presence. He's close, very close. Delian and the Loporrit come join us. No clones in the northeastern quadrant that we could see. The alien isn't with them. We do see the alien ship in the sky. This Nashu waves to it. That's clever. Mr. PuPu can scout us for us from the air. Hildy turns, goes running in another direction. Aha! I found me. I turn and look. We see the other Hildy on top of some moon rocks, 50 feet higher than us. Why? Why did I flee? Says the Hildiclone. He seems sad, downcast, very uninspector-like. A flawed creation, to be sure. Such negative emotions would never mar the heart of a true Manderville man. We're all just kind of looking. Oh, and there's an explosion behind him. Walking out of the explosion, we have some glowing glasses, eyes glowing yellow. The body of, obviously, Godbert. Still kind of shrouded in the dirt that he's kicked up on the moon. One of his hammers, at least, sticking out of the head of a pinkish, slimish creature. Hildy's jaw is shaking violently. Godbert is, as somewhat usual, only in his white underpants. He sees the Hildiclone, does this little motion in front of his face, like forming a closed fist at his chin. Praise Thal for his patience. 'Twould seem my beloved Hildy has been awoken from his unnatural slumber. He gets in a dashing position, but leaps high into the sky, comes down, misses Hildy on he was doing like a full arms and legs spread wide body slam. The Hildiclone just kind of walks away, still moping, still sad. Godbert gets out of the hole he's created and cocks his head. Starts dashing toward Hildy, does a flying double kick, and Hildy kneels at just the right time for Godbert to go flying over him. Abandoning my gentleman comrades to save myself, my pride in worse tatters than my maltreated wardrobe, says the clone, standing back up. It is very unlike Godbert to miss once, nay, not even to mention twice. The Hildiclone just goes walking off. Godbert takes a few steps, kind of thinking, what's going on here? My fatherly love denied. Unthinkable, unless that is not my son. He looks over at us. Sees Nashu waving. Looks directly at Hildy, who look a panic on his face a bit. Godbert turns to look at the Hildiclone walking away in a different direction. The actual Hildy panics now, back to Hildiclone. Still sad. Panicked real Hildy dashing away. Godbert nods. All is as it should be. He gets in a kneeling position, hands on the ground, butt up, starts to sprint. All of us, except for Delian, run away. Godbert lands on the ground next to Delian, and then the impact, the shock just launches him. Godbert is jumping massive distances and then sprinting others, leaving a trail of dust kicked up behind him, moon dust, if it matters. Little explosions here and there from bursts of speed. Hildy still sprinting. Godbert, one final jump, lands on top of Hildy. Hildy sits up, sees Godbert standing in front of him. Godbert grabs his ankles and then under his knees, starts spinning him around as normal, creating this whirling moon dust tornado. Hildiclone looks at this. Another of me survived. I'll not turn tail and run this time. No, sir. Hildebrand to the rescue. He goes running toward the real Hildy, who sees him, reaches out. Real Hildy grabs Hildiclone, big smile on his face, true love looking at each other. And now both Hildys are being spun around and around by Godbert, grabbing onto each other's arms. Round and round as fast as I can. I can't slow down. I'm a Manderville man. Had to say it fast. Manderville dance of the ephemeral twins. We see on like a white screen with the three Manderville men. And he launches the two still clasping each other Hildies, who bounce around, hitting all of the asteroids, the blue floating asteroids, like they are pinballs, and the asteroids are, yeah. They come back down, they hit the flying saucer, and now they're both embedded in, well, for some reason there is a face on the moon. They're embedded in its nostrils. The eyes of this face glow extremely yellow and kind of like electronic-y. The ground rumbles, panic from Nashu and Delian. The mouth of this face opens, has a glowing emission of that yellow gold light. And then 5 Loporrits are up on a floating platform from the mouth. Spotlights on all of them on the platform. They open their eyes. And it's like a stage. We see some fireworks. They are doing the can. There are some other like hollow screens behind them. They're doing little butt thrusts. Like hip, They grab their ears and wag them a little bit. They pinch their cheeks and freeze in that position. The platform lowers back into the mouth closes. Each Hildy is in one of the nostrils of this face. Now I know I'm dreaming. That can't possibly be real, says Delian. That was a little something we were preparing to welcome the people of Aetheris. I almost forgot it was still there, says the laconic Loporrit. The flying spaceship is having trouble now, smoke billowing from it as it's flying around, struggling. Did I say struggling? I'm not sure. It gives a little explosion. It looks like at the chin of this face on the moon. Gets bigger, starts launching a bunch of things out of it, one of which looked like Enkidu. Launches some of the things at us, possibly accidentally. Godbert dashes in front of us. His hammer grows to that double-handed size, big and gold. Starts knocking things away from us so that we are protected from it. Delian is on the ground. The Lalafell who stalks Nashu was on the ground. Enkidu, a Mandragora, some crates and vases, and one of those ore monsters. The barrage appears to have stopped, but just look at all this junk, says the laconic Loporrit. Please be sure to pick up your litter before you leave. The moon belongs to everyone, you know? Yeah, you got me there. Godbert spies something that kind of glistens on the ground nearby, walks over to it, picks it up. It is a purplish stone. Oh! I don't know what that is. It did give the little sound that like Gilgamesh kind of gives. But the flying saucer is indeed using its tractor beam to pick back up all of the stuff that it launched onto the moon. It uses a disintegration ray, I believe, to destroy the Hildiclone. Godbert comes up to Hildy. Hildebrand Helidor Maximilian Manderville, how glad I am to see you up and about. Your mother will be beside herself with joy. The little blue alien and us three come up and join. I only stand before you now thanks to Nashu, who stood ever vigilant at my bedside, and to Mercy, who ferried my soul back from across the rift. My son is indeed blessed with comrades of quality. You have my heartfelt gratitude. Nashu bows with her hand on her chest. Godbert looks to the little alien. To you, Master PuPu, I extend my apologies. In my excitement, I fear I have broken your starship. If there is aught I can do to help effect repairs, you have only to ask. PuPu, my vessel experienced a temporary malfunction, but there was no major structural damage. I say something to Godbert, who looks over to PuPu. It brings me relief and joy to hear it. Might I have a word, Mercy? I had actually come to the moon in search of a certain rare ore, and by Thal's good graces my quest has been successful. The ore, however, is but the first step of a longer saga. Meet me back in Rods at Han, and I will explain the role I wish you to play. I nod to him. Yes, I think it best we make the journey starwards. We'll not find Master PuPu's friend from up here unless someone packed an extremely efficacious spyglass. Anybody? No? Then home it is. And we all go walking. PuPu with us. Delian stops for a second. I stop with him. He looks at the earth. For years I've chased after the supernatural and the inexplicable, but to encounter so much of it in such a short span of time, my mind still reels from the implications. Yet I must keep my gaze focused beyond the veil. A chance like this comes only once in a lifetime. And the camera pans across the moon face to the Earth, which also has the Loporrit's like big starbase kind of thing in the scene as well. I talked to Hildebrand back in Rodzeton here to finish the quest. Ah, how lovely to be back on the star of my birth. Father did not tarry to chat, but said something about returning here with a trusted employee. Screen flashes black for a second. We're in another cutscene. Well, we've no time for further familial pleasantries. Nashu and I must devote all our mental energies to the case of the silent correspondent. He does a pose, points at his head, one finger on each hand, gets a surprised look of Eureka, starts to run off. My keen inspector sense impels me to begin our search in that direction. Make haste, my companions, for justice waits for no man, not even one who is little and blue. Inspector, wait! Can't justice make an exception for me? Says Nashu, and she runs after him. PuPu runs as well. His channeling appears to be remarkably effective. Fascinating. Yes, most fascinating indeed, says Delian. He looks to me. Mercy, forgive me. I seem to have been laboring under a misconception. After spending some time with the Xenobunnies, it has become clear to me that they have not the slightest intention of invading our star. They are no threat to us. I smile and nod. He gives like a fist in the air. But he is. You know of whom I speak, that devious Master PuPu and his diabolical devices devised solely for world domination. I shall have to investigate him further to learn the intricacies of his plans, but I may require your aid, not to mention your interpretation. I'll even pay your retainer fee, so please, when the time comes, join me on my quest for the truth, with a capital T and italics. Scene pans over to Godbert and a retainer of his. Ah, mercy, my apologies for the wait. Shall we proceed to business, then? The task at hand concerns nothing less than a family legacy. He's once again in his white tuxedo, black spandex pants, black spandex short shorts. The recreation of the historically significant and astronomically magnificent Manderville weapons. They were the designs of a distant ancestor, you see. While the originals have long since vanished, the manual containing the secrets of their construction survived, a precious heirloom passed down through generations of Mandervilles. My options are, why the sudden passion for weaponsmithing, or aren't your hammers built for hammering gold? Why the sudden passion for weaponsmithing? "'Tis true that, as a goldsmith, I've had little occasion for crafting implements of war. Why this project and why now, you may very well ask. Then I shall very well tell you. The tale begins not so long ago. I was here in Rodzethan to discuss a deal with an up-and-coming merchant. The matter in question was an acquisition proposal. Alas, the talks soured, so I made preparations to depart. It was then that the sky burst into flame. You know all too well what horrors followed. I did my best to defend the citizenry from the beasts which spawned, yet I could not save them all. Saved far too few, in fact. The memory of it haunted me day and night, and I found myself unable to work. But then I heard the news of how you and your companions had ventured forth to banish this evil at its source. You forged on in the face of deepest despair, and it gave me the courage to do the same. I took a good, hard look in the looking-glass and asked, what can Godbert Manderville do to safeguard the people of this star? Thus did I realize that I had both the knowledge and the skill to forge the greatest of weapons, that I might empower others to protect themselves and their fellow man. So I began going down the list, acquiring the necessary materials with single-minded purpose. One of these was a goodly chunk of purest mandarium ore, a metal found exclusively in meteorites, and that only rarely. I searched high and low, scouring impact sites and consorting with kobolds, all to no avail. Then, when none was to be found on Hildiclone, I set my sights on the moon, where I at last obtained a sizable sample. Now I say at last, but the list of materials goes on. If I'm to collect the rest in a timely fashion, I must employ the help of a comrade of quality. When you can spare a moment from adventuring or aiding my dear son in his inspecting, pray drop a word in the ear of my manservant here. He gives a bow. Silver-haired human male, it looks like. I shall clear my schedule of trivial interruptions, and we can proceed with the recreation of a Manderville weapon forthwith. 1432, as we complete the Imperfect Gentleman. I'm assuming he is speaking of what would be the Endwalker's, like, badass level 90s super weapons. We get a final cutscene, I think. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Rods at Han, we see the moon and a night sky, starry. Rods at Han, as was already mentioned. We see the Shadow Man. He smiles, leaps from high off a building. He is hiding behind a barrel that is just weirdly placed, dashing past guards, hiding when other guards come. He's off screen right now. He's hiding behind guards as two other guards look in his direction. He dashes away from the three guards that he was hiding behind, running along hallways, corridors, whatever, into a jail. Still smiling. Still Shadow Man. He sees the head of that robot, Lugia, I think, I don't remember, in the jail cell. Very big smile, eyes wide and white. And then the cutscene transitions to sound the alarm, a prisoner is escaping. The Shadow Man is running with the robot head held above his head. He's in the main aetheryte area, sprinting very fast. The guards have no chance to keep up with him. Sliding down one of those really long tapestries of green. We see him being launched into the air after the slide, like with the moon in the background. We once again see that little cutscene of Hildy and Nashu running along the moon surface. We get little on solid ground or far out of this world. Beyond the truth lies the weird and absurd. A beloved son, he's second to none, our agent of enquiry, Hildebrand Manderville. Godbert's running with us, but he's looking at the camera directly. Definitely not an alien clone. See you, Inspector. Oh, we see the sad Hildebrand as the very last thing. Sad that he let all of his Hildiclone fellows die and ran away. Please note that upon completing the quest, Make It a Manderville, you will receive a Manderville weapon for a black mage. Please ensure you have changed your desired job before speaking with it. I don't want to do it at all. So you can only choose one? Okay, interesting. Anyway, who knows if I'll ever do that, probably not. But I haven't done any of the special weapon quests because, dear God, they're a lot. There's a lot. All right, this one's shorter than the previous two I made today, so that's good. But it's still almost half an hour. But yeah, thank you for watching, Dillian and I. We both thank you, as does Gigi. Hi, Gigi. We hope you've enjoyed. We will see you next time. Ta-ta for now.